All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Some of you may remember the tale, nay, the legend, back when Sony had their infamous email leaks and the world found out that Sony was actually looking at doing a Men in Black and 21 Jump Street crossover, to which we all guffawed and laughed. But then a lot of us started to think about it more. And I'll at least include myself in this after thinking about it a couple of days, because I laughed at it first, like, how stupid are they over there? And then I thought about it for a couple of days and I went, you know what? I totally changed my mind. I actually think this could be really brilliant if done. Now, of course, it never came to pass, and maybe that's for the best. But something funny started to happen. Some of you might remember a couple of weeks ago, Channing Tatum actually started talking about a possible return to the world of 21 Jump Street, saying things like him and Jonah both really want to do one, and they keep trying to take cracks at it and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, maybe, just maybe, this Men in Black 21 Jump Street thing might be back on. Why? Well, this comes to us from MovieWeb, who's writing this. As per productionlist.com, which, by the way, we've found out, turns out almost everything we've ever referenced from these guys ends up being true. But as per productionlist.com, a website that regularly tracks the pre-production of major motion pictures across film and television, the untitled Men in Black project is listed as a feature film to begin shooting in January 2025 in London. The project summary has details for Men in Black International, which was, of course, a major flop, used as filler, and has as no official plot for the rumored MIB film has been released at this time. Okay. Now, granted here, we are going to make a couple of assumption leaps. Okay, we're going to take some guesses here. We have talked in the last number of months about a number of projects we first found out about through production lists, and it turns out they were pretty accurate. So let's make the assumption for now that this is true. That as of this moment, there is an untitled Men in Black project that is scheduled to start shooting in January 2025. Understanding that their last Men in Black movie was a complete flop. And you had great star power in it. You had Chris Hemsworth, you had Tessa Thompson. I mean, you had a stacked cast. And that thing flopped. Wasn't very good either, but completely flopped. Should we assume that they're just taking another shot at it? Or could it be something a little bit different? And could it be that it wasn't complete coincidence that just recently Channing Tatum was talking about the 21 Jump Street universe again? And could it be that this might actually be the Men in Black and 21 Jump Street revival? I mean, listen, Will Smith has found himself, after spending some time in the penalty box, he's found himself back in favor again. He's looking for a new project to get involved in that could be popular. Channing Tatum wants back into 21 Jump Street. I'm going to make a guess. And please understand, this is just me guessing. I'm going to take a guess that I think this is a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover. Again, just a guess. I'm not basing that on anything. I'm not putting any money on it. But my guess would be it is, because I think this would work for everybody involved. It would definitely work for Will Smith. Channing Tatum has already adamantly expressed that his enthusiasm for wanting to return to that world again. We didn't hear from Jonah Hill, but Channing Tatum says Jonah Hill really wants to do it again. And I don't think you can do a standalone Men in Black movie after the failure of the last one. So that's my guess. And you know what? If I'm right, and I'm probably not, but if I am, I think it's a great move. I think if you want to step up to the plate and take a swing, I think this is something you take a swing with. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. Mm-hmm. Let's go in reverse with you.
Sure.
Would a Men in Black 21 Jump Street movie be a good or bad idea? And then moving on from that, what do you think about the possibilities that it's actually true or not true? What do you think?
I mean, my knee-jerk reaction hearing this is, what a weird movie. I don't want it. But back when we had those Sony leaks, gosh, almost a decade ago, this was in talks, right? This was one of the things that came up then was, is this a real kind of idea? 21 Jump Street meets Men in Black, blah, blah, blah. And Channing Tatum at the time talked about how it was one of the best scripts he had ever read.
That's right. Yeah.
And he loved it. It was specifically, it's one of the best scripts I've read for a third installment, which is also a nice little caveat there. But he really loved that script and really believed in it. That's something that gets me a bit more on board with this idea of how much he wanted to do this, how much I really enjoyed those Men in Black movies. I was not a big fan of the Chris Hemsworth one, but I love those Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones ones. Vincent D'Onofrio is perfection in that first movie.
Oh my
so
God.
good and so gross.
Rotter.
Yeah, it's so great. So I think there's a lot of potential for something really fun and weird in there. The only issue I have is both stories work really well in this kind of fish out of water way, right? Where Channing Tatum has the kind of reversal of his own expectations about how he's perceived by current high schoolers and that sort of thing.
Right.
And in Men in Black, you have Will Smith, who's the fish out of water with a very real, serious world that happens to be fun for all of us because of the aliens, because of all of that stuff. But there's very high circumstances and high stakes there. So you just have to kind of up the stakes of the 21, 22 Jump Street stuff, which they're there, you know, there's actual crime being committed, and elevate that so it can kind of match the absolute intensity of galactic crime that Men in Black has. That I think is the struggle here, getting those two worlds to meet.
I was thinking, yeah, it's a crossover, but you have one team making it. So is this a 21 Jump Street team making an MIB movie?
Yes.
Is it an MIB movie making a 21 Jump Street movie? I'd rather be the former, being 21 Jump Street over like that, and then MIB being the overarching, like, you know,
Well, to
issue.
that point, to your point, my first question would be, if we found out this was real, my first question would be, are Lord and Miller going to be involved?
Right.
Yes.
That would
That's the
be
other
question absolute number one.
And there are people who understand MIB, so they
Yes,
could bring
yeah,
the
for
sensibilities
sure.
of 21 Jump Street and have that respect for the lore of MIB. I know it's not Star Wars, but still, you don't want to screw that up. And I think that could be really something special. And honestly, I was thinking about this, and I've thought about this since it was announced years ago, right? I think it was like AMC back when they first
Yes,
did
it was.
right? And I was like, that's stupid. And I kind of held on to it like it's stupid to like, well, that's kind of awkward. And now I'm like, if this is how I get my 23 Jump Street, I want it.
Yeah. And like they're trying to crack aliens who are undercover in high school.
Yeah.
And I am all for trying to see Jonah Hill and Channing
Yes,
Tatum
exactly.
now at their age trying to pass themselves off
Yeah.
as high school
I
students.
mean, it's going to be great.
I want it. I completely want it. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. You know, guys, it's one of the most unfortunate human tendencies that we have to try to compare our life to others. And social media plays a big part of that. Comparison is like the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives because on the surface, it might look like they have it all together on their Instagram or YouTube, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? According to production list, there is an untitled Men in Black film going into production in January. Could it be that Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover? Channing Tatum was just recently talking about it. Would you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's even happening? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.